I get it. When you're a small business owner or a remote team manager, the idea of splurging on a network firewall feels like stepping into a minefield. You've got a limited budget, you've got a handful of devices that need protection, and you don't want to end up with a box that looks impressive on paper, but ends up gathering dust because it's too complex or simply over-engineered for what you actually need. That what if big wrong thing feeling can keep you scrolling for hours, checking specs, reading forums, and still not feeling confident enough to click buy. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The WatchGuard Trade-Up Firebox T115W is marketed as a Wi-Fi 7 tabletop firewall that comes with 3 gigabit Ethernet ports, a fanless chassis, and 3 years of the basic security suite baked in. At first glance, it sounds like a tidy package that could sit on a desk and keep a small office safe without the whirring noise of a traditional appliance. The trade-up angle is also interesting. You can hand in an older WatchGuard unit and get credit toward this newer model, which is a nice way to avoid the feeling of buying something that's already a generation behind. So, who actually benefits from this setup? If you run a boutique agency, a dental practice, a retail shop, or any other operation that has roughly 10-20 users, a handful of IP cameras, maybe a point-of-sale system, and you need a simple way to enforce basic web filtering, VPN access, and threat protection, the T115W slots in nicely. The built-in basic security suite covers core defenses, intrusion prevention, gateway antivirus, web blocking, and application control. Those are the same features you'd find on a higher-tier WatchGuard appliance, just packaged for a smaller environment. On the other hand, if you're managing a mid-size office with 50-plus users, a lot of SaaS traffic, or you need advanced features like deep packet inspection, multi-WAN load balancing, or granular policy scripting, you'll start to feel the limits. The 3 1 gigabit ports are fine for a single internet uplink plus a couple of internal segments, but you won't be able to daisy-chain a lot of separate VLANs without adding a managed switch and doing more manual configuration. Also, the basic security suite, while solid, doesn't include the premium threat detection modules that larger enterprises rely on. Those come with the WatchGuard UTM or premium suite licenses, which are a separate expense. Now, let's talk about what the device actually does in day-to-day use. I set it up in a small co-working space that has a handful of laptops, a printer, and a wireless access point. The initial configuration wizard is fairly straightforward. You plug the Ethernet cable from your ISP into the WAN port, connect a laptop to the LAN port, and the wizard walks you through setting up the admin password, choosing the time zone, and enabling the basic security suite features you paid for. Because it's fanless, there's no hum in the office, which is a small but pleasant win if you're sensitive to background noise. The real value shows up when the firewall starts blocking traffic you didn't even know was risky. A couple of weeks after deployment, the web filtering component flagged a series of attempts to reach a known phishing domain that a new employee had clicked on from a personal email. The firewall automatically blocked the request and sent an alert to the admin console, so we could educate the user before any credentials were compromised. That kind of silent guardian is exactly why you pay for a firewall in the first place, preventing incidents before they become costly outages or data breaches. However, there are a few practical trade-offs to keep in mind. First, the Wi-Fi 7 label is a bit of a misnomer. The unit itself doesn't broadcast a wireless signal, it's a firewall. The Wi-Fi 7 tag refers to the fact that it's compatible with the latest Wi-Fi standards when you pair it with a separate access point, but you still need to buy or already have a compatible AP. If you were hoping for an Al-Anon Router Plus firewall that handles Wi-Fi natively, you'll be disappointed. Second, the web blocking policies are rule-based and not as granular as you might get with a dedicated next-generation firewall that uses AI-driven threat intelligence. For most small offices, the default categories are sufficient, but if you have compliance requirements, HIPAA, PCI DSS, etc., you might need to spend extra time fine-tuning the policies or upgrade to a higher-tier suite. Another point that often trips up buyers is the licensing renewal cycle. The 3-year basic security suite is prepaid, which is convenient, but when the term ends you'll need to decide whether to renew, upgrade, or let it lapse. The cost of renewing the basic suite is modest compared to premium modules, but it's still an ongoing expense that some small businesses forget until the notification pops up. Planning that budget ahead of time avoids the surprise your firewall is now unprotected email. Performance-wise, the T115W handles typical office traffic, web browsing, email, cloud SaaS apps without any noticeable latency. I ran a few parallel file transfers between 2 laptops over the